Hello, host families. Thank you for hosting an international student with ISP. We have worked with international students for over 25 years, and much of our success is due to our dedicated and generous host families. The main office is in Los Altos, California. We pride ourselves on excellent customer service, and if you have any questions at any point of the hosting process, we will be happy to help you. We have a general timeline and process for hosting our college students. Please keep in mind this process of placements is very human and can easily divert from this general path. When we receive a student's application, we process and confirm the student for a certain college. ISP will then email the student's profile to you if the preferences and location match. Some preferences we take into account include allergies, gender, and children. At this point, you may accept or deny to host the student. 2 weeks prior to the scheduled arrival, we will send the student your host profile. On the next slide, I will show you exactly what a host profile looks like. 1 week before your student arrives, please email your student to introduce yourselves. Finally, your student will move in. This is a mock host profile. As you can see, it includes your basic information, a small section for interests, as well as photos. When we have a student available to you, we will attach a student profile that looks like this. This profile is an essential document for you. Please note your student's email address that can be found on the right-hand side. Under flight information, if a student's pickup is checked yes, an ISP driver will take your student directly to your home. The driver will communicate with you via email the exact time they will arrive to your home. If a student has not signed up for an ISP driver, it is their responsibility to arrange their own transportation from the airport. In this case, please ask your student via email if you have not heard what time he or she will arrive to your home. Please also note the length of your student's contract. I will discuss this further on the following slide. Your ISP coordinator's name can also be found on this student's profile. Please be sure you know how to contact them. Students are only guaranteed to stay in your home during their contract period. This period can either be 2 or 3 months. Oftentimes, students will want to extend their home stay. If you would like to continue hosting the student, you are free to do so. We ask that the terms of the contract and rent stay the same during extension, and you go on a month-by-month basis. Please have a conversation 30 days before the end of contract to discuss if the student will be moving out or wishing to stay. How will my student pay rent? College students will pay you directly every month. The amount of rent varies based on location and the meal plan. You will be told this amount when we email you a potential new student to host. Please see an example of this here. Almost all ISP students sign up for the meal plan. You are required to provide breakfast and dinner every day. Breakfast is easy and is continental style. Once the student is settled in, he or she can help themselves. The only requirement for dinner is that it is prepared at home 5 of the 7 nights. For the other 2 nights, you may have them eat leftovers, order takeout, or find something else to have if you won't be cooking. Students must provide lunch and any additional snacks for themselves. Please remind your students to only keep food in the kitchen and not in their bedroom. In addition to providing a private, furnished bedroom, please provide your student basic amenities. These include toilet paper, linens, towels, cleaning supplies, laundry soap, internet, as well as a house key. All college students place a $100 deposit when they apply to ISP. When your student moves out and requests the deposit back, ISP will email you to confirm the student's room and bathroom was left in good condition. Please expect normal wear and tear. Be sure to send photos if you believe there were any damages. Your student will have medical insurance through their college. If your student gets sick, he or she can go to the health center on campus. In case of an emergency, take your student to the nearest hospital. Please be sure to notify ISP of any student emergencies. Your student will take public transportation to and from school. It is important that you physically show your student where the nearest bus or train stop is. They are in a new area, so please be sure your student is comfortable and remind them of basic safety precautions. The commute can be very tough for students at first because they're not used to the long commute times. Before your student arrives, it's nice to start communication before. Contact your student via email that is found on your student profile. Please make sure your student's room is ready and you have an extra house key made. Creating a short list of house rules beforehand is very important. Please give your student a short list of house rules. International students often understand things better when they are written out because their written skills are much stronger than their oral communication skills. These are just a few examples. Of course, feel free to include any additional ones your family follows. Please don't overload your student with too many rules. The day of arrival is always very exciting. Either an ISP driver will take your student to your home or your student will make other arrangements. As mentioned earlier, please ask your student when they will arrive if they are not signed up for an ISP driver. Keep in mind that although your student will be very excited to see you, they travel a long way and will be very tired. ISP has an emergency line that is available 24 hours a day. Please do not hesitate to call it. Here are a few general reminders. Sit down and have a conversation with your student 30 days before their contract ends to discuss if they would like to extend their homestay or not. The more communication, the better. Students want to improve their English skills, and one of the best ways is simply through speaking with their host family. Make sure your student unpacks their luggage and settles into their new room completely. Please also offer a place to store their suitcases. Please take your student to the bank and phone store within the first few days of arrival if need be. There are a few common complaints we hear from our students. All of them can be easily resolved. Meals and food are very subjective. Ask your student what they like to eat. Please make sure you are cooking somewhat of a variety of meals. Openly communicate with your student about what foods he or she likes or doesn't like. Sitting down for dinner is very important. Enjoying a weekend outing or bringing your student to parties are also great ideas. Students have a hard time taking the bus because it's such a long commute time. American culture is a big shock for our students. Plumbing and water usage is vastly different, and you may have to reinforce that there is a drought in California. Please remind your students to use much less toilet paper and to limit the length of their showers. Conservation and sustainability are very American concepts, which they will have to learn about. Your student may not be used to not having air conditioning as well. Gradually, your students will adjust to all of these cultural differences. Host families are so important to the student's success and immersion process, so thank you again for hosting with ISP.